Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and tackle Hyphens2. So the first circle is hyphens with letters, numbers, and percentages. So this is just the lesson which you should always look at before you start a practice. So first rule is you use a hyphen to join a capital letter in front of a word. And their examples: t-shirt, x-ray, U-turn, v-neck. Always hyphenate when it's joining that capital letter in front of a word. Do not hyphenate phrases that end with a single letter or number. So a type A personality, type O blood, page 1 headline, size 48 chest. So you do not use a hyphen with those because they have a single letter or a number after it. When you write out a percentage, like they have in the examples, 10 with the word percent spelled out or 1 with the word percent spelled out, you don't hyphenate. And then finally, the bottom one, use hyphens to write out numbers from 21 to 99. So 21 to 99, we're going to hyphenate. So let's take a look at some examples. Gamora wondered if the mysterious masked man had X-ray vision. So that's the rule that starts with a letter followed by a word. So you want to keep that hyphenated. Dylan Minette read 5% of his book. So remember, when that word percent is written out, we don't want to hyphenate. That was one of the rules. Next one, Julia Roberts noticed a typo in the page 5 article. So that was if there was a letter or a number after a word, we don't hyphenate. Because there was a 70%. So again, they have the word percent written out, so we don't want a hyphen there. We'll do one more. John Oliver packed an extra V-neck. So letter in front, kind of like X-ray. This time it's V-neck. We want to hyphenate. Easy stuff. All right, so let's get rid of those. All right, then we scroll down here and we go to hyphens with fractions. So we want to view that lesson first. So it says hyphenate simple fractions, 2/3, 4/9, 3/4. Now here's the but. Don't hyphenate fractions if one of the numbers is already hyphenated. So this is why I'm not a math person. So 7/25. That just blows my mind. But since 25ths is already hyphenated, you don't hyphenate the other part. Don't hyphenate phrases like 3/4 when they're not used as fractions. So this is one you're going to have to watch out for, and you're going to have to actually read the sentence, because if it says Nick found 3/4 on the sidewalk, they're talking about the coin, 25 cents. So if you see one written like that, you don't want to hyphenate because they're not talking about the fraction, they're talking about the coin piece. So let's go ahead and practice a few of those. I may miss one or two, who knows, but Everett Ross asked to borrow 1/4 so he could buy a soda. They're talking about the coin, so we don't want to hyphenate it. He needs 25. I wish soda was 25 cents. Linda Cole, that's me, found she had already memorized 3/5 of her piano piece. So we want to hyphenate that because it's a fraction, and I do not play the piano. Bored by the lecture, Nakia doodled on 3/4 of the pages in her notebook. So this is a fraction. It's not the coin, so we want to hyphenate that. We'll do one or two more. John Oliver decided to throw away 2/25ths of his birthday presents to charity. So this is one of those math things that, so we want to hyphenate the 25ths. Since this is hyphenated, you don't mess with this part over here. I don't even know what 2/25ths means. Crazy. Because Dylan Minette lost 3/4 through a hole in his pocket, we're talking about the coins, so we don't want to hyphenate. So got that one pretty much mastered, I feel. Next one, hyphens with ages. I think this one should be pretty easy, I believe. So let's see what the lesson says. Use hyphens when writing out ages as adjectives. So if you remember when we did that one where I said if there's a quote thing after it, in this case, it's going to be a cousin. So 11-year-old cousin, there's a person, after it, so you want to hyphenate. That's how you know it's an adjective. The 21-year-old man, here's a person after it, so it is being used as an adjective. If it just says, I saw a 21-year-old at the store, then you're not, because there's not a person after it. Second rule, do not use hyphens in the phrase years old. So 11 years old, no hyphens. 21 years old, you just do the 21. So notice this says years old. The difference is up here, it's 11-year-old, 21-year-old. So don't get tripped up with that. If it's years old, no hyphen. So let's see how we do on this one, hyphens with ages. All right, first one. The 35-year-old told Pua about his plans to run for president. The 35-year-old told Pua. So we don't have a thing after it, but we're talking about, it's not years. Got it right. I was a little iffy on that one, to be honest. Deadpool and his best friend met when they were only 3 years old, and they've been buddies ever since. So see how it says years? And that was one of those trick questions that we had to remember. So we want to take out those hyphens because it says years. Sneaky. Enjoying his day off, Zuri went apple picking with his 73-year-old neighbor. Okay, so here's the quote-unquote thing after it. So we want to keep those hyphens in there. Submit answer. All right, we'll do one or two more just to make sure you got it. When she became the first person to solve a 96-year-old riddle, Linda Cole was featured in several magazines. There I am again. So here's a thing after it, a riddle. So we want to hyphenate the whole thing. And it's year, not years. So hyphenate the whole daggone thing. And we'll do one more. The backpack Everett Ross used is 8 years old, but he insists on keeping it. So years, plural. There's our sneaky one. No hyphens. All right. Boom. All right, so let's go back. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. So we did letters, numbers, percentages. We did fractions. We did ages. Let's go down a little bit more, and we're just going to do two more of these. So hyphens with prefixes and suffixes. So as always, we want to look at the lesson so we know what in the world we're doing. Words beginning with the prefix self are hyphenated. So you either have to remember that or write it down on a piece of paper. So self-control, self-awareness, self-explanatory, you hyphenate. Words beginning with the prefix ex, ex, are hyphenated. Ex-marine, ex-wife, ex-governor. Words beginning with the prefix all are hyphenated. All new, all around, all knowing. Keep waiting for an exception to the rule. Oh, and there it is. Do not hyphenate all if it's not part of a compound word. Jeff's friends are all new to the school. Okay, so this is going to be another one of those where we have the quote-unquote thing after it. So look up here. All new design. There's a thing after it. All around athlete. There's a thing after it. Because he's all-knowing. All-knowing is describing the he, so in that case, there's a thing before it. Hopefully, there won't be too many like that one. But then we come down here. Jeff's friends are all new to the school. There's no thing after. It's not an all-new recipe or all-new story. It's just plain old all new, so we don't hyphenate it. The Clarks drove all around the town. Nothing after it. All right. We might get tripped up on the all one, but let's give it a try. Oh, I keep clicking on the wrong one. All right, so let's practice this and see how we do. Okay, Zac Efron lounged on the deck all day in a bathing suit. So it's not an all-day seminar or an all-day party. It's just all day. So we're not going to hyphenate that one. All right, if Black Panther does well on the test like he thinks he will, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Look right here, something after it. Plus, we were given the rule, you always hyphenate with the word self. So that's an easy one. I think the only one we have to worry about is when it's all. When Eric Killmonger heard about the mid-December baking contest, they didn't specifically tell us the word mid or the prefix mid, but we do have this thing after it. So we want to hyphenate. Level 1 complete. Go me. Yandu remained very self-possessed, so we were told self, you always hyphenate. I'm going to go with the promise that that's an always. Ulysses Cloud learned some new dance moves by watching a video from the mid-1980s. What a good time to live, mid-1980s. Submit answer, and we'll do one more. Because Pacha has many shirts that are all new, he will try to sell them. Okay, so we have our daggone all, but notice we don't have anything after. It's not an all new show, all new recipe, so we want to get rid of that hyphen. Boom. All right. And then one more circle to worry about, prefixes and suffixes to. So we got more of these prefixes and suffixes. Words beginning with the prefix non, co, and pre are rarely hyphenated. See what they did there with that daggone rarely? So I'm actually going to write down on a piece of paper for my own memory, non, co, and pre. That way I remember. Don't use hyphens after very, most, more, less, or least. That was the most interesting movie. Very exciting news, less dangerous animals. I'm going to also write those down so that I have that right next to me. So while I'm doing this, I can just look at my notes. More, less, least. All right, let's see if we can tackle this guy. All right, here we go. Last circle. My cousins and I disagree. Well, hopefully you recognize that just looks dumb. And we write the word disagree as one word. So that was an easy one. Emma Watson, love her, gets grounded every time she doesn't cooperate with her babysitter. That's right. We wouldn't want to hyphenate cooperate. Plus we wrote down CO. You don't hyphenate that. Next to the library, Nakia found a very nice playground. Very, I wrote that down, so we're not hyphenating. Mabaku made a playlist of the most popular songs. I wrote down the word most, so we're getting rid of that hyphen. Telling you, using some notes. When her neighbor's dog started barking nonstop, I wrote down non, so we don't hyphenate that. Yzma, love her. All right, one more because this is so easy. When he went to Disneyland, hey, that's for you, Asher, used a prepaid gift card to buy each of his friends a snow cone. Well, that was nice of him. I wrote down the word pre, or the prefix pre. Irony. Submit answer. Boom. So that is it, guys. That's how easy these Hyphens2 are going to be. Jot down those prefixes like I did. You are sure to ace this. Good luck.